Hello, welcome back to 90s Rusty Retros, and today we're doing a bit of a different format compared to the regular videos. I know, big change. We're in Camilla the Audi 80, not in the office in the unit. We are at the unit, but we're not in there today because it's windy and the shed is clattering like fuck. Anyway, I'm going to roll the intro and then I will basically get on to what we're doing. So, the reason we're doing this, well, there's a few reasons. A, we're now over 100 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. I didn't see that coming in a year's time, basically. It will be a year as of a few months into next year, not quite. But under a year, 100 subscribers, brilliant. I didn't see that coming, which means 100 people, or 100 of you, 105 actually, I think to be exact, like to watch what I put out on the internet, which is brilliant. It makes me feel great, honestly. Didn't think we'd get to that point. To a lot of you, 105 probably doesn't feel like much. I'm still a small print on the YouTube list, but I don't care. The fact that 105 of you actually want to watch what I make, even though it's done by a complete noob who knows fuck all about anything other than his motor vehicles, because he loves them. He loves his 90s motor vehicles, which is fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. It's very much appreciated. It makes me want to keep making stuff. So, you know, thank you. TikTok, 2,000 followers, amazing. We've got more to come up on TikTok later because it kind of rolls into the fact of how this all began. It probably seems weird to say how it all began because it's barely a year old, my channel. But I just want to give you lot an insight onto why I started and how it all rolled into what it is now. You know, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, that sort of thing. It all rolls into one platform, but I upload onto many to keep you all updated because obviously I started on different ones. So, basically, the story goes, I believe it was 2023, I passed my driving test. Not that long ago. I started out driving in my career as driving a black Vauxhall Astra H 1.7 CDTI, which was my brother's car. I think it had about 80 horsepower. It was a diesel. Always went into limp mode. Still goes into limp mode after 3,000 revs, which is quite funny, but it limits your revs. Here we are. Not that you really ever need to go above that, but if you did, uphill example. Anyway, I had that for about two or 3 months. I would say I was driving that around after I passed my test without incident. Had to top the oil up because I did so many miles in it. Standard procedure. I did scratch the paint in work because of the trees. I do apologise, that was an accident. But where else was I supposed to freaking park, you know what I mean? They're not going to cut the trees back, what did they expect? So that, technically an incident, technically not. That was a good car to drive. It was comfortable. Had pretty much enough go because it was all modern. But I didn't like the fact that it had no temperature gauge because the original head unit had been ripped out. So it had no temperature gauge, didn't know how hot the car was, but I wasn't a fan of that. Fast forward a few months, my mum came down. This is the last month when I had his car before he went back to work. The reason I had his car because he couldn't drive, so I took it on. My mum came down. I was on Facebook looking for a cheap banger to knock around in. 500 quid, maybe 7, if that, really limited. I was really limited because I was only working 4 till 8. So I was only bringing home about 1,200, and then I had to pay my rent out of that. So I was only having like 500 to spend, really, max, on a car. Probably less than that. And I seen this red Corsa B, 5-door, and this is where Lucia comes into this story. Seen it, it was faded, it wasn't red, it was pink. The wheels looked like they'd been sprayed, which they had been. It looked really clean other than the blisters on the bodywork. Normal 90s car issues. I thought nothing of it. Messaged the guy, can I come see it? He's like, yeah, come see it. I was like, great, brilliant. On my way there, he's like, you are actually coming, aren't you? I was like, yes, I am on the way. I want to see this car. I'm probably going to buy it. I was trying to negotiate price. He wouldn't come off 550. What was it he wanted? 600? It was like 600 and something, or 7. It was, I think it was 7 or something. I'm sure it was 7. Anyway, I'd have to get the advert up. It was 700. And basically, if I can find the advert, I'll put it into the video so you can have a look. It was 700 quid, and I messaged him and I said, look, would you take 500 for it cash tonight, and I'll come get it, drive it away? And he was like, no, I can't take 500. I was like, right, okay, fine, leave it. So I left it. About 5-10 minutes later, message. Just before we left, by the way, I've skipped back a little bit because I forgot about this. About 10 minutes later, message, all right, 500, come get it tonight. I was like, yes. So got straight in my brother's car. We drove straight down there. Got to the car, had a good look round. The interior was mint, like it was immaculate. 60,000 miles or 61,000 I got it on. The interior is immaculate. The radio is in the glove box. It weren't coded. I had to get a code for that. That wasn't a problem. The tax was a little bit dear. The insurance wasn't that bad. I looked underneath it, couldn't see any rust on the sills or the floor. It looked really clean. And then I didn't check the boot, which is probably my biggest mistake, regrettably. I don't regret it now, but it was at the time when I realised. Anyway, it was only a 1 litre 3-cylinder. It made about 54 horsepower. Not great. Quicker than a 1.28 valve though. Anyway, got it to my mum's because she was still down. She was like, yeah, it's a good car, this, that, and you know. I opened the boot and voila, there were some holes in the floor. I was like, fuck, shit. So I brought a car with holes in the floor. What else is new? Anyway, tightened it up a bit. Got a message off my mate. Bring it down to my unit. This is down in Bangor. He doesn't live down here no more. He now lives in Manchester, I believe, or something like that. I can't quite remember. I don't know where roughly he is. Somewhere that way. Anyway, got it there. About 2 days worth of buffing it, making it all nice and red and shiny. It came up amazing. It looked brand new. The interior was mint. The outside looked fabulous, other than the rust blisters. Honestly, it looked like a brand new car that rolled off the forecourt. It was fabulous. I was so happy with it. Knocked around in it for a few months with the steel wheels. Nothing done to it. The pea shooter exhaust. The standard cassette player blasting music. Oh, those are good times. Anyway, about half a year later, decided I want to change. Got a D-badge grill for it. Looked great, I thought. Looks good, but it looks shit on the steel wheels and the standard pea shooter, doesn't it? Anyway, talking about the pea shooter. A few weeks later, started the car. Sounded like a race car. The middle silencer had blown a massive hole through itself, so it sounded awful. So I sat there and I thought, do I get a standard exhaust for this car, or just make a nice big one, 4-inch on the back? Went on the Sportex site. I know Sportex not the best exhausts in the world, and it wasn't, but it looked great, and it sounded all right once you managed to seal up all the holes, because it kept leaking because it was terrible. Brought it. That was £190 or something from the cat back to the back box, and it sounded brilliant. I had no middle silencer. It was just a pipe straight through to the back box. It sounded brilliant. I probably should have got a middle silencer, I'll be honest, because it sounded a bit tinny. But other than that, brilliant. It was the best thing ever. I then wanted some wheels. And I was trying to find what wheels I wanted. And I seen some pictures of Cav fan blades. And I thought, they look great. But I bet they cost an arm and a leg. went on Facebook. People are wanting like 500-600 quid for a set of fan blades. It's mental. For really good ones, they're more. Like, these wheels are worth money if they've got the metal centre caps, especially. If they've got the plastic ones, bin them. They're useless. Anyway, I found a set on Facebook in Ellesmere Port. I think it was £120 for the set of 4. They all needed tyres. They needed a refurb. They had the genuine metal caps, but no key. Excuse me. Part of the problem I have now is getting them off because they're seized on and the keys are fucked. I'm going to have to get like a Dremel on that or something. Anyway, I tried to paint it myself with my mate and his missus. Thank you, Daryl, by the way, if you watch this. You put in a good effort. And it came out all right, except for one of them. Went for a drive and the paint ran all down the wheel. It was fucking... Yeah, that did not go well. So I thought, right, we'll take it to Wheelworks in Clandina Junction. Took it to them, 250 quid. They did the whole set in white, gloss white. And I managed to get some red centre Vauxhall logo caps. And they looked fantastic. If I can get a picture, I'll put them on the screen as well for you. They looked amazing. Honest to God, brilliant. It was such a good time in that car. I went to Scotland. I got some new bumpers. Body kitted bumper for the front and some side skirts. That was... How much were they? I can't remember how much they were. I don't even remember how much I paid for them. I've got a picture of that bumper on the car. I'll put that in as well for you to have a look at. Went to Scotland for that in that little red car and back, doing about 80 the entire way. Fuck. That 1 litre was fucking screaming. But you know what? Did it like a champ. I think in the end... Right, in the end, it died at 92,990 miles. Just before 93. And that, I'm pretty sure the timing chain skipped or left chat. I'm not sure. But I weren't fixing that engine because I didn't see the point. What's the point fixing a 1 litre engine? Just put something bigger and better in. So we got a Nova GSI engine, 1.6, 8 valve. And yes, it was a GSI engine before these 2 litres came out. Okay? Don't hear anything about it not being a GSI lump. I know what I've got. I know what I brought. Okay? Anyway, so that was that car. That is now in my unit. As you, well, all know, it's in the unit now. Over there. In front of me. Looks like I'm pointing behind, but I'm pointing ahead. January 25, I brought this. Camilla, the Audi 80. Sat in the garden for a few months. The owner had basically just give up. He had a new car. He didn't want to put the money into this one. It's all fair enough. Got to look around it, see what it'll probably need. The last service it had a list of things that definitely needed doing. Didn't know how bad, but here we are. Got it home. First breakdown was a few weeks later. I think it was February, or was it January? I think it was January it broke down. Late, a few weeks into January. The owner had messed with the throttle pedal to get a better response, and he hadn't put the locking nut back on the pedal. So when I put my foot down to go up a hill, the whole pedal fell off. It just fell off onto the floor. That was fun, and I was going up a hill like that. So you can imagine I got stuck about halfway. Not a fun time. But you know, never mind. Anyway, I got that towed home by my brother in the Black Astra, which I started my first, well, it's my first car I drove in. This, when I first got this, unbelievably, the clutch was heavy, the steering was heavy, but it felt quick. It only has 90 horsepower, but it felt quick because it was my first, well, it wasn't my first, it was my second turbo car, but the first turbo car I've owned. It was the first diesel car I've owned, but not the first I've driven. And it isn't a PD. It's before the PD was even a thing. But yeah, it honestly, it was in the unit for weeks and weeks. Maybe a month or two, being fixed up, subframes, wiring, rusty wings, which then got crashed into by a knobhead from fucking Barcelona. Unbelievable. So no insurance, as you can imagine. So just leave it. They were in a rental car from Manchester. This car annihilated it. This car shrugged it off and went, fuck you. Your car's fucked. This was fine. We pulled the dent out. So, it's not perfect, but it's a lot more presentable than what it was. So this one it's been my daily ever since the red one went in the unit. I got it on 161. Oh no, 165, sorry. 165,000 miles. It just had a timing belt. A full history, a majority of it Audi history, remarkably. It'd been very well cared for by a father, and I'm guessing his son, because there's two names, but both had the same surname from the same address. And then it passed down to someone else who had it for 2 years, and someone who had it for 3 days, which is odd. And then it passed down to the guy I brought it off who had it for 3 years, and then I've got it for less than a year. I think I've had it 11 months. It's nearly a year since I've owned this car. Sorry, my voice broke then. And you know what? Since it's been back on the road, this car, trouble-free. It's cost me nothing. Honest to God. I mean, I put fuel tank straps on, or one, because it snapped. I knew that when I had it in the unit, fixing it up. I knew, because I said to my mate Chris, doesn't look like that's going to last much longer. And it didn't last much longer after it went back on the road. My dad spotted it one morning. It was hanging off. It was like sort of down like that. So it was held up, but barely. So I dare not go over half a tank with it. But yeah, so I got the bug then to make the daily look a bit more sporty, because it was I liked the original, but it looked boring and bland and not eye-catching, and people, once you start modifying, you can't help yourself, So I thought, I'll get a spoiler. It's been so reliable, it doesn't need parts. It's just been serviced by me at this point, and it's gone really well. So I thought, I'll buy it some bits now. But due another service in 10,000. Fucking hell, will it? What are we on now? 179. Fucking hell. Less than 5,000 miles, that'd be due another service. That is fucking... The mileage this car is packing in is unbelievable, and it's not missing a beat. He says. Fingers crossed, but yeah. Anyway, I ordered the spoiler. That was 280, nearly 300 quid or something like that. A Hella spoiler, original factory spoiler for this car with the brake light in it. Looks much better. I got the sport wheels from Stockport. They look amazing when they're clean. They do need a refurb, which will happen at some point. I just want to get this red one finished. But yeah, the wheels look great on this. I got a D-badge grille, which unfortunately, what it didn't say online is you have to cut it to make it fit through the hood latch, which is terrible design. They should just pre-cut it for you, but no, you have to cut it. And I've made an absolute fuck up of it, I'll be honest with you. I'm not happy. I've messaged them, I've emailed them, said you should have told me how to do this, or you should pre-cut it anyway. Happily, they are going to send me a nice new one, and they're going to pre-cut the hole. So, thank you to John on eBay for doing that. Nice new D-badge grill on the way, because now I've ruined this one because there was no instructions, and they didn't say you have to cut it. So I've cut it, and I cut it wrong, and I've fucking cut... The angle grinder disc slipped, and it went into the bottom slat, and it's cut a hole in it. I didn't want to cut that one. I'm really annoyed I did that, because it looks horrendous now. It's on the car, but it looks horrendous. I'll show you a picture of it. I'll put a picture in later for you. So yeah, that wasn't fun. But this car's been phenomenal since. It does catch attention. People do like it, and it's so comfortable, and it's economical. 2 weeks, a full tank will do 2 weeks, 60 miles a day. It's fucking great. I love this car. It's comfy. The seats are comfy. I mean, it wallows a fair bit, as you can tell. And now I've got a new radio installed. I've got my tunes. Speakers are much to be desired for. 90 speakers for you. The electric sunroof works. Power steering pump's been on its way out for a while, but it's still working somehow. Other than the subframe nearly tried to fall out and kill me, other than that, it's been absolutely great. But that was a bolt that snapped apparently. So fuck knows how that happened. We then get on to the Mazda RX-8, which I owned briefly for a few months. That, I'll be honest with you, was an extreme gamble. That might have been a silly risk to take. It could have either been financial ruin or success. And it was success. And I did enjoy it. It was a very good car. I seen it for 700 quid on Facebook in Colwyn Bay. 15 minutes from my work, if that, about half an hour from my house. So I thought I'll pop by after work and have a look. Happened anyway in work. My supervisor said, "Look at this for 700 quid." I said, "Yeah, I'm going to see it tonight." He went, "You what?" I went, "Yeah, I'm literally going to see that tonight, and I'll probably end up buying it." It doesn't run. I went, "And?" He went, "It's a rotary. It'll be fucked." I went, "If it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. We'll find out." You got to take a chance on these things. Went up to see it. It had the usual rust on the boot, brake light on the boot. The usual rust there. One blemish on the front arch. The rest of the arches were mint. It needed one back end of the sill doing. The rest of the car was phenomenal. It was really good. It was tidy. It had a nice wing on it. Tinted rear lenses off the R3. A full exhaust system. Drilled and vented discs that came with it. I had one installed for some reason. I don't know why only one was fitted, but it had the rest go on. I never did that. I sold it with the car. All it needed was some new plugs and a coil pack. That was it. So 180 quid into it, and I had a running and driving RX-8 for 800 quid. 880 quid, basically. And it was on 61,000 miles. Now, I bet you're all going, "Whoa! Alarm bells. Engine due a rebuild." It wasn't. It got comp tested by the guy I sold it to, and it was fine. Honest to God, it was really good. I do regret selling that car now, but at the same time, I don't want to be the one footed with the bill of an engine rebuild, because I'm not interested in doing that on one of them. I just wanted to own one, experience a rotary engine for the first time, which was fantastic. Honest to God, you have to own a rotary in your life. Life is too short not to take a gamble on a rotary engine. Honest to God, it's the most fun I've ever had. It's a 1.3 that makes the output of a 2.6. It is the best car by far I have driven in my driving career in 2 years, basically. It'll be 3 years next year. Honest to God, brilliant car. I highly recommend one. The 250 is probably better, but the 192, it had a pedal box map for the pedals for a better response. You could adjust it. It had lots of things. It had coilovers already on it, an exhaust. It made fire. Oh, it was phenomenal. Best car ever. Honest to God, I do regret selling it, but at the same time, I can imagine the engine going bang at some point, and I'm pretty sure it has now, because I'm not sure. I'm sure he told me it did, but I can't remember. I think he fucked something up on it. But I did want to put like an OMP on it and stuff, and some modifications to make it more reliable, make the engine last. But these things cost money. I had this to run. I had the Corsa to finish, and I had the rent to pay on the unit. So I had to focus on these two, unfortunately. And the RX-8, 50 quid of fuel got you a day. Honest to God, because you can't not drive it like a twat. You just can't. It's too boring to drive like a granny. And that's how you fuck them up. You have to drive it like a twat, and honest to God, you just can't help it. You just fly past them and go, "Yeah, look at me, I'm amazing." It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's one of them cars that I can't help but, regret selling, but don't. I would have another one. Put it that way, I would have another. One that'd be as good as that again. I don't know. I don't know if I'd find one. The rest I see for that money are all engine blown, or engine needs a rebuild, or second rotors stopped working, or rust has taken over. That was a diamond in the dark. That. But it is proof. If you go on Facebook. Sorry about that, the microphone died, I've just put a new one on. Yeah, but it is proof you can buy a decent car off Facebook Marketplace. You just gotta look, and you can get some decent ones. This one has been no expense or trouble since I put it back on the road in May. It's been, was it May or was it, I think it might have been April, I don't remember. It's been brilliant, honest to God. It cost me literally nothing to keep this on the road other than the tax and the fuel. That's literally it. It really, and the insurance obviously, but it really has been a good car, and an experience. 90s German saloons, most comfortable cars in the world. I mean, I could start this up and it will start straight away, but I won't, because you'll lose connection. Or maybe you won't. Fuck it, let's try it. Should start straight away. 180,000 miles, and you'll say that's nothing, but it is in my book. Granted, it shakes when you turn it off, but that's just 90s for you, and the light comes on. Jesus Christ, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I love this car so much. But yeah, that's the cars. So TikTok. That started in 2023 when I had the red car, believe it or not. I just posted some little bits about how it's a survivor, how it's here, and I started getting traction. But believe it or not, before that it was all GTA 5 game clips I used to upload. If you go right back, you'll see some of the clips. And that's how it all started. That's how most of my followers started. And then I got these and I thought, let's just upload videos of these, because these are cool. Like, you don't see an Audi 80 saloon anymore. They're gone. They were gone in the 2000s. And this one, granted, looks patchy and a bit tatty, but she runs like a champ, and mechanically it's mint. You know, it's an amazing car. So that's, TikTok started from the red car, and then it progressed into this one, and then the RX-8 showed up, and then this took over, because obviously the RX-8 sold for profit, and the red one was in there. People do want the red one back though, which is weird. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'll be honest with you, TikTok was not the main goal for me. I've always wanted to do YouTube. Now, I've had two other channels which were terrible, and then I did this one. And when I did this one, I thought, I'm going to do this right. I'm going to learn my lessons, and I'm going to do it right. So I did. I tried to do everything right as much as possible. And it's not easy to do. So I started making videos with my dad on this, fixing this. And then as time progressed, I thought microphones are needed. As you can tell now, I've got a microphone. They were a very big necessity for this sort of thing, to make myself clear and crisp. Although these aren't the best, I will be getting upgraded ones soon. These ones I've noticed aren't sounding great. I will get some better ones soon. You know, since we've hit 105 subscribers, I think it's time I invest a little bit more money into this. I thought I'd invest every sort of milestone. I will invest a bit more, and you'll see improvements. And I'm getting lighting in the unit soon. Don't worry, it probably won't be in time to winter, but for next winter we will have lighting to make life a lot easier. But yeah, YouTube is kind of it's not easy, I'll be honest. I used to think, as when I was younger, you know, being younger me, oh, I could be a millionaire, I can do this, that and this, and I could buy everything. I've always wanted, like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and all this and that, and you know, because I used to watch them, Stampy Longnose I used to watch, there's quite a few of them, you know, Ice Cream, Lord Minion, those lot are the OG. I still watch them now because it's just nostalgia to watch them. I mean, I still play Minecraft, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, it's mental. No, YouTube isn't easy. It's a lot of time, a lot of running around, setting things up, showing people what you're doing, getting everything right, the right shots, and then doing voiceovers and editing. And it does take your when you finish recording the whole day here. You lose a whole day doing it because you have to do everything you want to do in the day before it gets dark. It's hard to film in the dark, as you would see with me. And the other issue is when you get home, you got to edit it. And that takes another hour or two at least to edit together and save it and then transfer it to YouTube, put a thumbnail in the description. It is a lot of work. I'll be honest. It's not an easy thing to do, which is why I wanted my weekends off from work so I could focus on this a bit more and on my cars, because I like this more. I need my job and I like my job. Not many people can say they like it. I actually do like it. I like the people I work with as well, because we all have a laugh. We all get along. There's the odd scuffle here and there, obviously, as you do. Stress and everything. But I do actually like where I work. So, that's fine. But I don't want to spend my entire weekend there. I spent 6 days a week there for 5 years. And I don't know. Why? Why was I doing that? And I think I was only doing that when I was on my short hours for the extra money boost. But now I'm on a week shift Monday to Friday, 11 till 8. I don't need the Saturday. And the Saturday was just... I was losing it to the tax man anyway. So I thought, why am I bothering? So, yeah, I got rid of that. And I focused on this instead. And you know what? Since focusing on YouTube and my TikToks and my cars, I've been much happier and more relaxed. And I think everything's working out better. So, I'm not going to make this much longer because we're already on half an hour and it's just me talking. Now, I get most of you probably won't like this sort of thing. I understand that. But this is just sort of an overview into how this all came about and a bit about me and the cars and stuff. For those that are interested. We've got a lot of big things planned. I do want a third rusty retro car once this red B over there is sort of mobile-ish. And I sort of finish what I want to do with this. I do want a third. You can't have too many rusty cars, can you? This one doesn't rust though, it's galvanised, thankfully. Audi had big brains back then, thankfully. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just sort of more thankful, really, that I've had opportunity to do this sort of thing, because I don't know, I don't think I would have ever done this. Doing this has actually helped with my anxiety a lot, believe it or not. Sorry about that, might cut out there. Yeah, believe it or not, this has helped my anxiety greatly, because I used to be really anxious. But doing this, as you'll see in the first few videos, didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was anxious, didn't know what to do, nervous. Now I feel absolutely not nervous about anything. About sort of doing this for cameras and bits for camera. I think I did an interview for a YouTube channel once on my red car, Cars and Coffee. I don't think it ever went up though. But honestly, yeah, I think this has been a great experience, and I want to thank you all again for 105 of you for subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. It really does. I can't express it, because it feels weird to have 105 people subscribe to something that you make content for, in a way. TikTok's great, but people don't necessarily watch it. It's sort of like snippets and things and little updates. Same for Instagram. Facebook's another one. YouTube is one way. You lot seem to actually like what I watch, which is weird, because I didn't think anyone would like to watch what I make. So thank you for subscribing and watching and stuff and liking the videos. It does mean a lot. And there will be a lot more coming next weekend. The weekend after, I think, is it will be Christmas week, so there might not be anything in 2 weeks' time, but there will be videos next weekend. But nothing the weekend after. Okay. But yeah, thank you so much, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one anyway. But thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.